Okay, so this is everybody's favorite here, market research for Google Ads, doing keyword research. Everybody wants to jump here right away, but this is influenced greatly by the work that we did in the prior videos of this series. By the way, this is the fifth of a series of Google Ads training course. If you want to find that, go into playlist below. Also look in the description for links to my website as well as a table of contents. But to get on with this, we want to determine first, do keywords matter? And they used to a lot more with Google, but as they've changed match types around, they've become increasingly difficult to target specific phrases. So, for example, if you use a phrase match keyword, it will shift to totally random searches now. And you got to be even more specific even with phrase now. And so I use a lot of phrase, I use a lot of exact. You can still use broad, but you want to make those extremely long tail and specific if you do so. And kind of keep an eye on them. So for this reason, keyword research has become increasingly less important. And so it's very important to dial in your match types early on and make sure you're not getting a ton of trash traffic from broader keywords, and then use a lot of negatives to control and throttle the system. Keyword value is the first thing we want to talk about. Once again, I'm a practical guy. I didn't learn this through a marketing course or degree, so I don't know if this is a real word, but I just frame this as the keyword. What gives a keyword value? The fact that it is specific. So some keywords that you use are kind of broad, like you can't tell if that person using the keyword, it has a double meaning. Sometimes they're looking for information, sometimes they're looking for a company. Sometimes they're looking for this service, sometimes they're looking for an alternative service or not indicating that in the search term. So if they said property management, they might be interested in short-term management, but they didn't indicate that in the search. So short-term management, if you're targeting that, is more specific than the property management keyword because it's more specific to your service as well about what you're offering and what they're looking for. So make sure it's specific to what they're looking for as well as the service you're offering. Intent. What goal action is intended from the user's search query? Intent meaning, are they looking to hire someone, or are they looking to buy a product, or are they looking to download an exchange, or some software. So there's certain words that indicate intent with service-based businesses. If they're saying contractor in it, like you don't want to just say like roofer. Roofer is a little bit iffy because sometimes that does kind of have intent in it, but they could be saying like how much does a roofer make. They might be looking for a job for roofers. So there's additional inquiries. So if you target that, you're going to get a broad range of searches that are triggering your ads. Rather, you want to target like roofing contractors near me even. So near me adds a little bit even more context that whenever they're using near me, why would they want a roofer near me? Because they're not looking for a job. They want a roofer specifically that they can reach out to do work for them. So make sure that there's intent words in it for the most part. You can do some things that don't have intent, especially if you're driving ads to more of a content play or a content funnel rather than a service funnel where you're trying to like generate leads and then follow up through email. You could do less intent, but for the most part you want like intent words. Volume, how often is this search query made per month? So that matters. So like if it's really specific and it has a whole lot of intent, but there's just not enough search volume, then you're going to have to open up your targeting if you want enough leads to justify running ads. So for positive keyword research, here's some tactics. First, just start by keyword brainstorming. Use your common sense, and as we talked about in prior videos, you can just think of what are people searching for? What would I search for if I was in the position of a customer? Also talked about was auto-suggest. So using Google auto-suggest when you type in some of these words to see what else people are likely searching. Look at the search engine results listing copy, the copy of the titles of all the listings for the ads as well as the organic search listings. Competitor websites, you can go there too and look at their services. So the service dropdown will give you all the different verticals. You can look at their pages to see what they're highlighting for keywords in their headlines. Of course, you need to make sure that they are marketing correctly and have good on-page SEO. and Ubersuggest is free as well. But if you really want to do correct keyword research, just go to Google Keyword Planning Tool. It's free, and if you pay for it, then you can get more specific volume suggestions. Then what you want to do is select the highest value keyword phrases and export forecast CSV. So I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. But select highest value keyword phrases based off of the value system I gave you before. What has good volume, good specificity, and intent. And try to get like the 3 best ones. Or just the best ones in general. Alright, so for property management keywords, the highest value keywords that I found are vacation home rental agency. Now, you can see at the very top of this list, we have vacation rental management. This is fine, but once again, it does lack a little bit of intent because it doesn't have company in there. It's not saying vacation rental management company. This person could be someone who's a homeowner that's just looking to figure out how to manage their vacation rental. It's still intense, of course, but just not as much as some of these other ones. Vacation property management, I do have that in there, of course. So in general, that should be vacation rental management, since rental is a higher volume keyword. So the top one should be in there as well. Airbnb property management is very specific to your service, because for vacation property management, they might still be looking for like a traditional lease. The term vacation, though, sort of does indicate that it's going to be short-term. Vacation home rental agency could also be just a standard lease, but vacation, of course. Airbnb says exactly what you are going to be offering, so that could be higher intent. Vacation rental management companies, once again, adding in that term companies makes it very specific. You don't have to target this for like a phrase or an exact match since it's so long, but you could put this as a broad match, and since you've given it so much intent, the broad match might not go crazy. So I'll talk about that later, but if you are using broad match, try to make them longer tail in the most specific. Short-term rental property management. All right, so these are just some of the top keywords, and so getting an eye for this, just export this list. You don't need to target all these keywords because some of these are variants of the others, and so long as you target like the top 4 or 5 with certain match types, Google will capture basically all of this. Okay, so this is the property management ad estimates. This is in the Google Keyword Planning tool. This will show you ad estimates for the next month or next period based off of what you're targeting with those prior keywords I showed you, and given like estimates for conversion rate at 14%. And that's just average. Sometimes it gives you one automatically based off of what it's predicting off of its known advertisers. This will give you a sense of like how much you want to be spending per month. So cost of $17K, so $1,700, I mean $2K you might want to spend. And as you move this little dot on that graph, then you can get to points that are more efficient or points that are higher volume. As you go to the right, you're going to get higher volume, but you're going to be spending a lot more for the click and spending a lot more for the lead. So it might not justify that volume, but if you are volume centric, your business just wants to outcompete competitors and you can easily spend the CPA, then you might go way to the right. If you're more risk averse, you might go for efficiency more to the left and get less conversions, but for a lot less CPA. These are the software development keywords, and a quick note too is like when you have such a specific service, NFT marketplace development, the keyword research becomes very easy and simple. If you haven't positioned your business correctly, you'll have a ton of different keywords, and there's a lot of different verticals you can go down. But since these businesses are so well positioned, then it's very simple here. NFT marketplace development is slightly less intent than NFT marketplace development company and services. Another good one, white label NFT marketplace, is probably still less intent than NFT marketplace development because it doesn't have development in it, but that could still work as well. So you would want to target all of those keywords right there. And then these are the ad projections for that. You can notice a fairly high CPA, but in a space like this, it's not the end of the world to be spending something like that, because if you get a big whale that is doing hundreds of thousands of revenue and transactions of NFTs, then you're going to be making good money, depending on what you take from their sales, what percentage royalty. Then here's the hip hop dance studio keywords. Once again, very simple. So hip hop dance classes, near me. So these are all the additions for adults. If you went to Google and did the auto suggest, you would see this stuff like near me, for adults. And these could all be niches. You could do only adult hip hop dance classes, but the thing is like hip hop dance class is already niche, so you don't want to niche only to adults. And as you can see in the top right corner, this information, by the way, is based off of a targeting. So you can target a certain area when you do this. And for the other ones, for the property management, I did a place called Largo, Florida, which is a place I've been. That's just why I did it. And then for the software development, I did national for US, because it doesn't really matter where you're developing. Then lastly, you want to do negative keyword research. And once again, I mean, this is all exactly the same as before. And you can do this while doing your positive. Just take note of anything you definitely don't want to be doing. So for common sense, like start with certain keyword categories. So someone looking to get hired for a job, for example. So jobs. So you want to do both different versions of that. Jobs, hiring, hires. All different forms of the word, and then just brainstorm as much as possible. Career, salaries, average salary, income, like stuff like that, where people are looking for a job. So that would be a category. Something that you can also do is competitor scraping. So if you're a local service-based business, or really any business, you can go on Fiverr, have someone scrape all of your competitors in the US or that specific region, and then get a Google Sheet output of it, and then take their brand names and pull out the brands or the parts of their brand name that you want to negate. And so you can preemptively just negate all your competitor searches, because you can show up for those in a campaign that you specify for competitor campaigns, but you don't want it showing up on your cold search. Non-target locations too, so you can put in negatives for people not just in those regions, but typing in those regions, like acronyms. So I always upload a state and acronym negative. So like MN, Minnesota, I do both of those as negatives if I'm not targeting that region. And be careful when doing that too, because like Maine, its acronym is ME, M-E. So if you want to do near me terms, you don't want to negate that. So you can't negate that, or Indiana, in. So you don't want to do those acronyms. Letter and number combos, you can also do a Google Sheet. I've done this before. It takes a while, but you can do like every combination of single letters of like the alphabet. Once again, A you don't want to do. B you probably would want to do. C you would want to do, unless these are relevant to your industry. Just the single letter. If someone's typing in C or B as a single letter, probably don't want to target that search. If they have like AB, BA, CD, like those two, you want to negate. And so you can just do this in Google Sheets, or the triple letters, triple A, AB, ABA, like all these variants. And why you'd want to do those, in some industries, they actually have lots of acronyms and brand names, especially if you're national. So if you're in like insurance, this definitely could be worth it. You're going to have thousands of these variants, and you want to make sure, once again, that you're not negating anything that's important in those variants. A couple quick tips, of course, is use all the prefixes and suffixes of the negatives, and then also categorize the negatives into certain categories so you can explore synonyms. And that's it for the keyword research video. I know this is short and like very quick to the point, but once again, keyword research is not as important as it used to be. Just make sure that you're targeting keywords of value, and start with the match types that make the most sense. And we'll talk about match types in a later video. So the next video, we're going to be jumping into the account build, and I'll see you guys there.